Welcome back, everybody. This is Lady Dubs, and we're picking up right where we left off. Next to our friend, the Sergeant of Arms. Yeah, let's just go. So I remember when we talked to the post guy, Boyle, I think his name was, he said we should go to the TV studio to see if we can get more dirt on people. TV station, yeah, let's go there. Whoa, why are all these people here? Examine Indians. Too busy drinking and smoking, they ignore you. Examine car, the silver Tucker with a yellow interior. I wonder if that'll be important later. Well, let's check out this place. Examine backdrop, a corny western backdrop complete with cardboard teepee. Talk to Range Rider.
Stay tuned, buckaroos. There's more to come on Range Rider's Cowboy Roundup. So don't go away.
Well, that guy looks happy to be doing his
And
job,
what's your
doesn't he?
name, hombre?
Steve.
Steve's a swell name. My dog's name is Steve. Would you like my autograph, Steve?
Yeah, I guess. No, I'd like to know who owns this place. Yeah!
Here you go, then.
Oh, I can actually talk to you. TV violence?
What about it?
Children watch your show. Don't you think the violence is bad for them? I love all the blood and gore on your show. Yeah, I love
What
it.
red-blooded American doesn't? Nothing like an exploding head to get the blood pumping. Literally, that is.
Even so, do you think society pays a heavy price for the violence in the media?
Of course they pay a heavy price. Just look at the net profits. They'll line up around the block to see a good slaughter. Now, excuse me, we're going back on the air.
Yeah, cool. I think we actually did get something out of that, right? Newspaper Range Rider autograph, right-click to view. Yeah, we actually got an autograph from the guy. Cool. Well, I'm sure that'll come in handy at some point. Examine cameras. Odd, no one is operating the cameras. Yeah, how do you do the show without someone operating the cameras? But I guess that's not important now because, oh, hey, Mr. McKnight, yeah.
Hey, Sport. This is a private office.
Yeah, I know, Mr.
McKnight. I own and operate this station. Have you brought me some news for tonight's broadcast, or...
I've lost my memory. That's news.
The hell it is! You always were a kidder, Steve. Any real news to tell me?
Actually, I was just wanting to know more about the TV station.
Hey, WHAR is the only television station in Harvest. Since the old Sentinel went under, what with the newspaper building burning down and all, we're golden. Nobody competes with us, Sport.
You and your partners must be rich. What an odd coincidence.
Hey now, Sport, that's an irresponsible allegation. I had nothing to do with that fire. Just because WHAR may have benefited from it and I danced on the ashes a little, doesn't mean I torched the place. You can ask Sheriff Dwayne if you have any doubts.
You seem awfully touchy on the subject, Sport.
I'm touchy when people try to muscle their way into my business. I'd appreciate it if you'd leave my office and don't come back.
Well, what's happened till we talk to him again?
Don't hurry back. Don't hurry back.
Well, alright, let's examine the room a bit. A picture of a gorgeous model signed with Kiss My Pineapple, Red Muffy. That's nice. Monitor, very poor reception, strange since the broadcast originates from here. Same with the other one. Is there anything else here we can examine? Cubicles. An assortment of empty cubicles. Either McKnight loves to recall his salad days as an insurance salesman, or he can't keep his employees happy. I don't understand the reference to the cubicles. I guess so he doesn't want anyone to see them?
Don't hurry back.
I guess I can't talk to you anymore. Well, let's just move on. There's still more to Harvest to see. Maybe we'll get more info on this place later. Well, let's just see. There's our house. We went to all three of these places. We went to the missile base. We went to the meat plant. Well, we haven't gone to the meat plant. Let's go there next. This is where we'll be working. Examine building. A red brick building with a horrible stench coming from within. That's not a good sign for a meat plant. Either are all these cats, I think they are. honestly don't know what these things are. Oh, no, they're cats. And very, very dead ones are around here too. Barrels. Whatever's in these barrels smells extremely bad. Talk to Pat O'Reilly.
Steve, how's your father? Is he better?
About the same, I guess.
He's been away from work for weeks, and when I call your house, your mother won't let me talk to him.
I haven't seen him either.
This is a fine kettle of fish, I must say, though I am glad to see you taking an interest in the business in your dad's absence.
Who are you?
Aw, Steve, I didn't want to believe that amnesia hokum. Now you're saying you don't remember your pal Pat O'Reilly?
Well, we got a lot to ask him. Let me write this down. May as well start it off with the top: family business.
You may come to realize that this business is not for everybody. Just ask your poor, ill dad. It takes dedication and a strong stomach.
Yeah!
A lot of times, when I'm finished scrubbing up and digging the bits of intestine out from my fingernails, I must confess I don't have much appetite for red meat. But red meat is one of the principal food groups, and you've got to have it. So when you can do this all day and help yourself to a juicy red steak afterwards, then by golly, you can call yourself a butcher.
This place feels like it's violating a lot
Of
of
course,
health
amnesia
codes.
would certainly help that, wouldn't it?
Alright. Oh, now we have meat on the list. Let's write that down. And Dad's illness is next.
What exactly is wrong with your dad?
I don't know.
I wouldn't worry about it too much, Steve. You should be thinking about running the family business one day. That, and getting into the lodge.
Well, actually, I'm curious. What happens if I type in lodge now?
The Order of the Harvest Moon sponsors a weenie roast on the lodge grounds every summer, which we cater, though they tend to get their meat elsewhere the rest of the year.
I wonder why.
Heck, the best way to find out is to sign up with them. They're a great organization, Steve. They do wonderful work, just like us butchers. They do what needs to be done and expect nothing in return.
Then how do they support themselves? Membership dues?
From what I hear, the work is its own reward.
I mean, sure, given how you learned telepathy by doing it. I'm not surprised that the work is its own reward. What do you have to say about harvest?
Don't read you, Steve.
Alright, let me just see real quick if some of this other stuff I wrote down will give me anything.
Don't read you, Steve.
I don't think I'm gonna be getting anything out of him. So let's just keep asking him questions. Meat.
Come to think of it, I don't see any cattle around here. Where do you keep the animals?
Does it matter? The end product is all the customer cares about, Steve. And we only carry the finest meat, only the juiciest cuts.
Ugh.
Once you take over the business, you'll realize the importance of maintaining quality while cutting costs. We know what we're doing here, Steve. If we didn't, would the lodge use us to cater their affairs?
They cater only one affair once a year. I'm sure it's good. Could I have some meat to take home? Oh god, not the lodge again. Can I have some meat, please?
Your father's very particular about the profit, Steve. No freebies for anyone. But seeing how you're his son, if you'll bring written permission from your father, I'll give you the meat.
Sure, alright. And we already asked him about the lodge, so writing down some of the other stuff he has here. Well, next thing up would be cutting costs.
There are certain tricks of the trade, Steve. Once your dad gets better and you start working in here cutting up the meat, you'll be privy to them. There's always cheaper, better ways to do things, if you're creative.
None of this is boding confidence. Well, we already asked him about Dad's illness and family business, so... cats was the other thing. 'Cause there's all these cats all over the place.
What's with all the cats? This a slaughterhouse or a kennel?
Oh, them? They eat the scraps, that's all.
Yeah, but look at... Isn't there some kind of health department that keeps tabs on these things?
Are you going to work at the health department, Steve? Or here?
You've seen defenses, I wonder why. Here, of course.
That's good to know. Your father will be very happy, if he recovers.
My
What?
point was only, you shouldn't allow animals in the food processing area, right?
We don't let them get into the meat. That's unsanitary, and the health department wouldn't stand for it. There's things you don't know about the family business, but you'll learn.
I'm more concerned about your saying if my dad will get better. For all I know, he's already been dead in his room. Let's keep asking questions like amnesia.
Look, I'm not kidding about the amnesia. Why won't anyone believe me?
Well, you always were such a kidder, Steve.
Funny how that's beginning to sound like a stock answer. Like it was coached.
You sure are acting like a kidder, son. With your dad ill, you're gonna need to start behaving like an adult. Especially if you're gonna take over the family business.
Family business. I'm starting to wonder who these people really are. I'm starting to think they're not really human. Did I ask him everything? I gotta keep track, better track on what I'm asking people, huh? Neat.
Don't read you, Steve.
Well, one of the things was to ask about meat before.
Don't read you, Steve.
Well, I think I asked him everything anyway, so let's go.
Don't be such a stranger, Steve. And my best to your dad.
Thanks, O'Reilly. We can examine Splotch. This used to be a kitty cat. Nothing really to take here. Examine carcasses. The carcasses of several small animals. Nothing else in here. Let's keep going. Actually, did I get anything from in there? Lodge application. Meat permission slip. Right-click to view. Harvest Moon Meats Inc. Official meat release form. Bunch numbers. Section A. Notice, under these circumstances, are any parties not mentioned in this release as recipients to receive any Harvest Meats Inc. products. I, HMI, employee signature, do hereby give my full permission to someone to receive grade 3 product from Harvest Meats Inc. Well, we got a permission slip. Let's just keep moseying around the town. Jean Memorial School. This would be the high school I went to that I graduated from last summer. And there are no children here except for some guy drinking from a fountain. Principal Harreel.
Steve, good of you to drop by, big guy. Haven't seen you since graduation. A lot of changes, I hear.
You could say that.
Good, good. That's a nice part of my job. Turning fine young men and women out into the world, and then watching them prosper. Of course, I was able to reach more people at the old Sentinel, God bless her. But then again, I never got to see the results of my work up close before.
Who are you?
You know very well I'm Mr. Harrell, principal of Gain Memorial. Steve, I've heard about this amnesia nonsense. I had hoped you'd be in the lodge by now, fine young fellow like yourself. But now, I think maybe you need a little more quality time.
What? So many questions. But we're going to write this stuff down, and then we will ask them. First things first, what the hell do you mean by quality time?
What do you mean, quality time?
Some, like Miss Whaley, favor stern discipline, corporal punishment, as a means of socialization. Myself, I temper discipline with love. Quality time can be such a warm, sharing experience. After just a few sessions, you'd stop this amnesia nonsense and become a productive member of society and a fit candidate for the lodge.
I don't think this man should work as a teacher, like ever. Well, amnesia. Let's ask him about amnesia next. Then the lodge.
You turned out pretty good, except for that amnesia nonsense.
It's not nonsense.
Well, you always were a kidder, Steve. Maybe you need a little straightening out. Oh, the things I could do to you.
Oh, God.
You'd be a much finer young man with just a little quality time.
This guy should not be anywhere near school. Lodge, please.
Big guy, barring some quality time, the greatest gift I can bestow upon you as your former principal is a word of advice. Join the Order of the Harvest Moon at any cost. Within the lodge lies your future, and without, dust.
Okay. Principal.
Surely mine is the most important position in Harvest. The ability to mold young minds. That's power. You might think Sheriff Dwayne's the most important man here, big guy. But he only deals with my failures. When I do my job right, the sheriff never sees a thing.
That's not a bad way to look at it. Big guy.
Why do you keep calling me big guy?
A sign of respect, lad. As principal, my station is higher than yours now. But you never know what the future holds, so you should always hedge your bets. And pay tribute to your inferiors. You never know who will come to power, or who, even now, wields it behind the scenes. For all I know, you might already be a member of the Order, with access to the Lodge. If that were the case, you'd be my superior, and I'd be all that much better off having shown you respect and spent some quality time with you.
Please stop saying that. What else do we have? We already asked him about the stuff on the list. Now we need to ask you... I thought I already asked you about Principal. It says here I didn't mark it off.
Surely mine isn't...
Yeah, we did talk to him about being a principal. The Sentinel. That was the paper place that went up in... newspaper place that went up in flames, right?
Boy, I sure miss the old newspaper. The sheriff never did investigate that fire properly. Call it a newspaper man's instinct. Though I can't imagine why Sheriff Dwayne would cover up anything. I mean, the only ones who stood to profit from the newspaper going out of business was the owner of the TV station. And Mr. McKnight had an airtight alibi. Still, if not for the fire, I never would have wound up as principal of Gein Memorial.
Oh, I guess he used to work there. Well, Gein Memorial.
Gein Memorial. Sounds like a cemetery or a hospital, not a school.
This institution was named for a great man, whose first name escapes me. He epitomized the great potential within us all, big guy. I hear there's an honorary plaque commemorating him within the lodge.
Ugh. Well, that's really all I can talk to him with, because that's all the options I had with him, but he mentioned someone named Miss Whaley. What would happen if I try to ask you about her?
Oops, you just lost me.
Nope, nothing. Fair enough. Let's go.
Drop in again soon. Adult education is a wonderful thing, as is adult quality time.
Please stop saying that. Examine bulletin board. A bulletin board reeled with staples. Can I go into... Wait, I can go into this classroom? Oh, I can. Students. The children look stunned and zombified. That sounds normal, at least. Paper cutouts. Even the paper cutouts look stunned and zombified. Talk to Miss Whaley.
My goodness, class, this is Stephen. He used to be a student here at Gein Memorial. Say hello, class. They're reticent. The educator's gravest problem today is the apathy of the students.
What's wrong with their heads?
I can tell you in one word, Stephen. Discipline. Thank goodness you weren't a sulky bear. You were always a smiley bear.
Then, you remember me?
Not as such. So many pupils, Stephen. They come and they go. But I can always spot those who were nice boys. You can tell from the forehead. The lobes, right, class?
Oh, she's
I'm
smacking
glad
them.
you stopped by, Stephen. Would you care to say a few words to the class about civic responsibility?
Not really. I was just passing through.
Oh, but you must, Stephen. A positive role model might be just the thing to inspire these little monsters. Stephen, have you any questions for me? Or shall I continue with class?
Yes I do, ma'am. I'm actually kind of curious.
Ask away then.
Well, let me just, write down what I need to ask her. First things first. Harvest.
Can you tell me anything about Harvest?
Harvest was founded by the Order of the Harvest Moon about 100 years ago.
For what
Oh.
purpose?
Why, I'm sure you'd have to ask them. You'll find the members of the Order at the Lodge.
Well, that actually some insight. The Order of the Harvest Moon started this place. What about the Lodge?
This lodge. What do you know about it?
The building itself, like Harvest, was constructed with a specific purpose in mind. That noble intent is known only to those within the Order. You're at about the right age to join them, Stephen, and you will do so if you care about your future.
That's a little concerning. Corporal punishment.
We don't practice corporal punishment here. I've never believed in that old adage, spare the rod and spoil the child. A rod is too thin.
What?
But a baseball bat?
What?
That bridges the generation gap quite
What?
nicely. Oh dear, Colonel Monroe is conducting another air raid drill. Everyone into the hallway, quick!
Oh.
If an A-bomb hits, what good is it gonna do to duck and cover?
Oh, boy. Sorry, kid. Well, at least they made it comical. Eh, not so comical now. Oh, wow, she is a sociopath.
My stars, that was exciting.
Okay, bye.
Stop by anytime, Stephen.
Okay, I'm gonna examine the room a bit. A rough sketch of the lodge is on the chalkboard. Examine students. Nothing else in here to really look at, huh? Well, goodbye. Good riddance. I'm thinking we should... why does it always do that? We should probably save now since we did get a couple of items. So, school days. And let's see if I can go to inside any of these other classrooms. Drinking fountain. This drinking fountain doesn't work. Lockers. These lockers are riddled with inexplicable stains and dents. Lockers. It's all the same. Broom closet. It is locked. Oh, nothing really else to look at in here. Sign. It looks like the bake sale will be held here. I guess that's good to know. Well, let's leave. Oh, that place was a nightmare. Oh, Edna's Diner. Uh, 1955 Frag 100 with real leather seats. I don't understand motorcycles. I wonder if that's important. But let's go in. Hello, let's start with you. You're Edna. This is your diner.
Oh, Steve, what are you doing sneaking up on me like that? God, for a second I thought you were Mr. Johnson. What would you like to order?
You know me? Who are you? You know me?
Sure.
Oh, Steve's got
And
me.
my name's Edna Fitzpatrick.
Bless me.
I'm not the one with amnesia.
Then you believe me.
Well, you always were a kidder, Steve.
I guess I've changed. I'm not kidding.
Now, Steve, faking amnesia won't help anything. If you don't want to marry Stephanie, then don't. But don't play sick, for heaven's sake. I'd expect that from Karen, not an 18-year-old.
Well, time to write down these things. Well, first things first. Karen, I'm assuming that's the kid over there, right?
You've met Karen, my 8-year-old. Other than the diner, she's all I have.
Aww. I feel like this is gonna go horrible. Stephanie.
There isn't a nicer girl in Harvest than Stephanie, Steve. You should be grateful that she's promised you her hand.
I don't remember that happening, Edna.
Honestly, you men are so childish. I don't know what it is about marriage that turns even the bravest man into a coward. I was going to marry Karen's father when he just up and ran out on me one night. I heard that he joined the lodge, but if he did, I never saw him come out again. Even Sheriff Dwayne wasn't able to find out what happened to him.
That's suspicious. Mr. Johnson, and then tell me about the lodge.
Mr. Johnson has a liking for me. I'd call it a crush, but that's too innocent a word. He's a bitter man with too much time on his hands. He's never gotten over being rejected by the lodge, and there's something unwholesome in the way he looks at me. I'm always glad when the sheriff comes in every day at noon.
Well, that's kind of upsetting. Well, what about the lodge?
The lodge is the repository of all wisdom. You should join the Order of the Harvest Moon, Steve. And soon.
Why?
For God's sake, what is it about this place?
The wheat ripens and waits not for the scythe. The farmer who waits too long, it were better that he use the scythe to rip his own stomach out than to stay his scythe when the wheat ripens.
What?
The harvest moon wanes and then comes winter. An empty belly, the body sun's belly, gurgling within or bloody on the ground. What does it benefit a man if he gains his soul and loses the world? You hunger. Feed yourself before it's too late. Oh.
You sound
Edna?
like someone was
Steve.
speaking through you.
What happened? Were we talking about Boyle? Or was it Karen?
You seemed strange there for a minute.
I'm sorry. I'm under a lot of stress. Running this diner all alone. Forgive me.
I am worried about you, woman.
Stop
Very
by
worried.
anytime, Steve.
Well, talk to Sheriff Dwayne.
Hello there, Steve. Here for lunch?
No, just here looking around, though I'm not entirely sure where here is.
Oh, I forgot. You're playing your little amnesia prank. Well, boy, this is DNA's diner. Isn't that right, Edna?
Don't listen to Sheriff Dwayne. This is Edna's diner. But ever since the E burned out on the sign, they've been giving me a hard time.
Now, don't be like that, Edna. It's a great place to eat, which is good, since it's the only place to eat in Harvest. I understand you witnessed Miss Whaley's dispensing a little discipline at the school, and she thinks you may be feeling a mite bent about it.
I am. That woman is insane and cripples children. Let's just play it cool. I mind my own business, Sheriff.
That's always the wisest course, boy. Sticking your nose where it doesn't belong can get you in a world of trouble, especially if you're a gynecologist. Heck, there isn't a psychiatrist around who'd disagree about what a calming influence a dent in the head can be.
What?
You can't argue with science, Steve. It's bigger than all of us.
Are you talking about lobotomies? Miss... I wrote down how to spell Miss Whaley, don't worry. Whaley.
Say what?
Alright, nothing really I could add to this.
Stop on by any time, Steve.
Actually, no, now that I think about
Sorry, boy.
Let's see, maybe I can ask you about this, who was it? A Mr. Johnson.
Say what?
Okay, that gave me nothing. Well, let's just move on.
Stop on by any time, Steve.
What about you, Karen? Can I talk to you?
Hi, what's your name?
Karen,
What are you doing?
playing. My mom is working, so I gotta stay out of her hair. Wanna play?
Not now, maybe later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
I really hope nothing demented happens to the children. Well, let's face it, something demented has already happened. I hope nothing more demented happens. I guess all we got out of this is that there's a guy named Mr. Johnson we need to look out for. And not in a good way. Went to the police station, newspaper building, went to the... Well, let's check out the fire station again. Maybe we can tell Sparky what we discovered.
Can't talk now, Steve. I'm inspired.
I forget... Boyle? Maybe that'll help?
Come again?
Fire.
A dreadful affair. You wouldn't think that a...
Well, you think it was arson? Maybe you're too busy. No, I'm not getting anything new out of this. Next up is the Wayward Hotel. Nothing really to examine here, so... Well, we can't even go in. It's like... Oh, wait, no, yes we can. Mr. Moy... Can't pronounce your name.
Who are you?
I am Daniel Moynihan, mortician and proprietor of the Wayward Hotel.
Most people ask me why I don't remember their names.
Well, you always were a kidder, Steve. Besides, as one who deals with the dead, I try not to involve myself in the affairs of the living.
You're in the hotel
Your
business,
loss
dude.
of memory is of no concern to me, true or false. Ironic, considering my recent involvement in a charity event.
What are you talking about?
My complaints were central to the scheduling of the upcoming Harvest Bake Sale. I'm gratified the Order of the Harvest Moon got involved. The proceeds will certainly help cover my losses.
Well, time to ask him questions. First and foremost, bake sale.
This bake sale is a joint effort of the Harvest PTA and the Order of the Harvest Moon. The proceeds will be used to set up a fund for transients. In other words, bums and societal rejects without families who wander into Harvest uninvited.
Then the Order is setting up shelters for the homeless?
Not shelters. Graves. You see a great number of these hobos die while passing through.
Yeah,
Don't
Dwayne
ask me
mentioned
why,
that.
it's what those people do. Use your common sense, Stephen, memory or no. If they were involved in setting up homeless shelters, then why would I be involved? And why would I be sustaining losses?
Well, Order of the Harvest Moon.
As always, the Order of the Harvest Moon has taken the lead in addressing our societal ills. Through their sponsorship of the blood drive and the bake sale, the Lodge ensures that all our needs are met.
Needs? Such as?
Pardon me, there are corpses to prepare. And my losses have been substantial of late. If you're sincerely interested in the Order, however, you should stop by the Lodge and speak with the Sergeant-at-Arms.
Why should I be interested, Mr. Moynihan?
Of all the spots in Harvest, the Lodge is the most prominent, literally and figuratively. It is the ambition of everyone here to join. And join you must to attain wisdom.
What kind of wisdom?
If I knew, I'd be a member. I have the feeling you have what it takes to join the Order, Stephen. We all believe that. Whether or not you live up to your potential is up to you.
I do not trust this at all. Losses.
It seems that, like some elephant's graveyard, people of low station come to Harvest to die. They simply drop dead, penniless, and they all need burials. God knows, by putting these people up at the Wayward Hotel, I do more than my fair share. So why must I pay for the coffins and burial materials as well? My losses to the dead are substantial. Hopefully the bake sale will offset some of them.
Wayward Hotel. We didn't talk about that yet.
As owner of the only hotel in town, I do my best to accommodate any hobo who straggles into town, vacancies permitting.
That's very charitable. We're the guys who drop dead staying at the hotel. Well, that's very charitable of you.
Thank you. As yet another pilgrim who aspires to join the Order of the Harvest Moon, I do what I can to support their agenda.
And what agenda is that?
None of your concern, young man. Unless you decide to join them.
This is very, very concerning. Bye, Mr. Moynihan.
I'd say it's been a pleasure, but I find the company of the living so wearisome.
Me too. Time to examine mirror. Reflections make the lobby seem more spacious than it actually is. Flyer. That was just my inventory. Flyer. PTA bake sales on Friday. Door's locked. Ledger. A ledger of name, the last being Jonathan A. Rhinecliffe, checked in Monday. Look for a Jonathan Rhinecliffe, I guess. Examine radio. The somewhat ponderous console radio evokes an eerie era. Can't really do anything more in here. Yeah. Well, goodbye. We can go to the cemetery or the Shady Oaks Mortuary. Let's go to the Mortuary first and then the cemetery. So that's how the bodies do it. We may as well follow them. Diggs landscape. Professionally kept landscape. Symbol. The hideous symbol stands out like a swastika or a flattened spider. And that's really all I can examine. Let's see if we can go inside. Looks like a standard moratorium. That's how you say it. Coat hanger. An empty coat tree. Candles. These votive candles have been lit by many well-wishers for the dead, or one well-wisher with a lot of matches. Sofa, a pair of comfortable-looking sofas. Schedule, a schedule of this week's funerary events. Ledger, those dear to us who have passed recently. Jonathan A. Rhinecliffe is already dead. So we gotta go straight or to the left. Let's go to the left first. Oh. Hello again, Mr. Moynihan.
Young man, we really have nothing to say to each other. I have the feeling your innards shall soon adorn my slab.
What?
And I'd rather not know the face of the meat I'm slicing.
Bye!
I'd say it's been a pleasure, but I find the company of the living so wearisome.
This place is like even worse than the meat plant. Wow. Examine sink, a very nasty looking sink. Examine corpse. The messy remains of a poor soul. I guess you're embalming him. Temperature gauge. The needle lies on 33 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, that's a good temperature, I think. Fan. The fan's whirring blades barely stir the stench-laden air. Jars. There are organic things floating in the formaldehyde in these jars. The sort of things that make you want to look away before you really see what they are, but your eyes won't oblige. Heart. A disembodied organ which has never meant to pump formaldehyde. Glue. On the counter sits a tube of Astro glue. Can I take that? You know what? Oh, stains. Oops, he spilled. Gross. Before I try to take things, let me save. See what happens before glue. And can I take that?
You can't have that, Stephen. I need it for my work. And may I say you're a rude young man for attempting to steal it.
I was only gonna borrow it.
Indeed. And have you anything I could hold as security?
Security? Like what? Money?
I'm afraid that's not good enough. I need that glue for my work. You must present me with something significant if you'd have me part with it.
Will this autograph thing of the Range Rider?
Why should I care about that?
Fair enough. I'm gonna hold on to my shovel for now. I think you might want it, but I think I might need it later. So I'm gonna keep it for now, and we'll try again later. Oh, here's like the actual church. Examine pews. Rows and rows of empty wooden pews, caked with dust and indifference. Chandelier, an exquisite chandelier. Oh, there's more up ahead. Oh, that is not nice. Examine the window. A haunting, beautifully stained glass window in which a man holds a scythe in one hand and some ethereal power in the other. This one, a saint kneels before a shepherd, jubilantly terrified. Same in that one. Examine lectern, a small lectern for a priest. Pew. An imprint of a head and buttocks and sliding heels are scraped into the thick dust of the pew. A brass candelabra holds several strange-smelling candles. And the casket. An empty vessel of the dead. And that's everything. Well, let's get out of here for now. Let's head to the actual cemetery. Oh, this is actually a pretty nice view, I must say. And no, it's not so nice. Examine grave. The air here reeks of fresh soil and manure. Examine grave. A headstone of this grave site reads Jonathan A. Reinhardt. Oh, and I have not a question mark. I got one of those magnifying glass. Can I pilfer the grave? You shovel on grave.
Okay.
Okay, apparently not. My moral compass is too high. Examine grave, and air reeks of fresh soil. I can't do anything more. The lightning. To examine it, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't really have anything else I could use besides the shovel on it. Unless, now that I'm closer, can I use it on there? You shovel on
Well,
grave.
that didn't work.
Nope.
Damn it.
Well, it was worth the shot to try. Let's keep going. Yet another resting place amongst the graves. Because it's a picnic table, I get it. Well, there's the lodge in the distance. There's more to this place. Here is a crypt. A Postum family crypt. Oh, the Postum family crypt. Examine doors. The marble doors have been sealed shut. Well, that makes sense. But can I break in doors?
Okay.
No, that won't work. Well, it's worth the shot to try. Tree? The leaning sycamore tree is dead, run, unstable for climbing or stringing nooses. That's nice. I guess we'll keep the tree in mind, and I can't really do anything else here. Well, let's go back and see if we can give Mr. I forget his name already, Top Hat Guy, the shovel. Would you like this, sir?
Why should I care about that?
Nope, he was not. But I also think on that note, folks, I'm gonna end the episode here. A lot of dialogue in this, but I think some sufficient amount of effort or time or stuff has happened. So, if you guys enjoyed what you're watching, hit subscribe. If you want to keep up to date with the story, ring that bell. And thank you so much for watching. Later.